Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we're diving into something big. And by big, I mean houseplants with massive leaves. Whether you're trying to bring some life into your space or just love the jungle vibes, these big beauties are perfect for adding style and personality to any room. And let's be real, there's something about a plant with big, bold leaves that just makes your place look, well, fancy. So stick around because we're about to go through 10 of the most stylish, easy to care for houseplants with leaves that are almost as big as your dreams. Alright, kicking things off with a real stunner, this is the Strelitzia Nicolai, also known as the giant bird of paradise. I mean, look at it. It's like having a tropical tree in your living room. These massive banana-like leaves? Yeah, they'll make you feel like you're chilling in a beachside cabana, even if you're stuck in the middle of the city. And don't worry, it's not that hard to care for. Just give it some bright, indirect light, water it every now and then, and it'll grow like crazy. Trust me, this thing can easily grow over 6 feet tall, so make sure you've got the space to let it shine. But seriously, it's worth it. Your guests? They'll be impressed. So if you're looking for a plant that's basically going to be the star of the room, the Strelitzia Nicolai is where it's at. Big, bold, and tropical vibes all day long. Next up, we've got the Areca Palm. One of my personal favorites if you're going for that easy, breezy tropical vibe without having to try too hard. This plant's like a natural air purifier with style. Just look at those delicate leaves. Makes you want to kick back with a cold drink, right? Areca Palm is perfect if you want to fill an empty corner or break up a big open space. It's low maintenance, and it's not too fussy about light, just bright, indirect light and a good soak when the soil dries out. Here's a pro tip. Keep those leaves dust-free so they can really soak in the sunlight. Plus, it just looks better. Whether you're going for a modern look or a more laid-back tropical feel, the Areca Palm fits in pretty much anywhere. And bonus, it can grow tall, but it's also super forgiving if you don't have a green thumb. So, if you want something that screams vacation, but doesn't scream for attention, the Areca Palm is a solid choice. Alright, here's one you've probably seen all over Instagram. This is the Ficus Lyrata, or as most people call it, the fiddle leaf fig. It's like the supermodel of houseplants. These big glossy leaves are the statement piece in any room. I mean, look at them. They just scream high-end but without the crazy price tag. Now, the fiddle leaf fig can be a bit dramatic. If you don't give it what it wants, think of it like a diva that loves attention. You're going to want to make sure it's getting bright, indirect light, and regular watering. But not too much, or it'll throw a fit. Here's a little tip. Rotate it every few weeks so all sides get even light, and mist the leaves to keep it happy. Trust me, this plant will let you know if it's not vibing with its setup. But when you get it right, man, it's worth it. The fiddle leaf fig just has this presence. It's elegant, stylish, and makes any room look like it came straight out of a magazine. So, if you're ready to step up your plant game and give your space that wow factor, the fiddle leaf fig is your go-to. Just be prepared to give it a little extra love. Alright, here's a classic that's made a serious comeback. Monstera Deliciosa, or as most people call it, the Swiss cheese plant. And yeah, those holes in the leaves, that's where it gets its name. These leaves are just awesome. They've got this cool tropical vibe going on that makes you feel like you're one step away from the rainforest. But in your living room. One of the best things about Monstera Deliciosa? It's super easygoing. It loves bright, indirect light. And it doesn't need to be watered constantly. Just let the soil dry out a bit in between drinks. A quick tip. Clean those leaves from time to time. Not only does it keep them looking fresh, but it also helps the plant soak in all that good light. This plant can get big if you let it. Give it something to climb, like a moss pole. And it'll reward you with even more of those big, beautiful leaves. It's like having your own little jungle without needing to leave the house. Whether you're just getting into plants, or you're already obsessed, Monstera Deliciosa is a must-have. Now let's talk about a real classic, the Philodendron Scandens, or Heartleaf Philodendron. This one's perfect if you're into that laid-back, effortless vibe. I mean, just look at those leaves. They literally look like hearts. This plant is basically the definition of easy. It's super low maintenance, and it'll thrive in just about any lighting, from low to bright indirect. Plus, you don't have to be all that careful with watering. Just let it dry out between drinks, and you're good. You can let it hang down. like a natural curtain, or give it something to climb. Either way, it's going to add a ton of character to your space without you having to do much at all. And if it starts getting a little too wild, just snip the vines back. This plant bounces right back. No problem. Heartleaf philodendrons are awesome for adding some greenery to smaller spaces too. You can put them in a corner, on a shelf, or even let them trail down from a hanging planter. It'll soften up the whole room. So if you want something that's easy to grow, looks amazing, and pretty much takes care of itself, the Philodendron Scandens is the plant for you. Low effort, high style. What's not to love? Alright, next up, we've got the Yucca. This plant is all about bringing that desert energy into your home. It's bold, it's sharp, and it's basically the plant version of a cool, no-fuss roommate. The Yucca's got this strong, almost rugged look, like it just rolled in from the desert. But don't let that fool you. It's actually super easy to take care of. This thing thrives on neglect, honestly. It loves bright light, so if you've got a sunny spot, this plant will be happy. And as for water, yeah, it barely needs any. Just make sure the soil dries out completely before you water it again, and you're golden. Honestly, this is one of those plants that's perfect for people who forget to water. If you travel a lot or just can't be bothered with needy plants, Yucca's your new best friend. The best part? Yucca brings in a really cool minimalist vibe without taking up a ton of space or demanding a lot of attention. It's all about those strong, clean lines that instantly elevate any room. So if you're looking for a plant that looks tough, is super low maintenance, and adds some modern edge to your place, the Yucca is a total win. Next up, we've got the Dracaena Golden Coast. This one's all about those bold, golden-edged leaves that make it stand out without being too in your face. It's like that friend who's effortlessly stylish. Check out these leaves. They've got that nice pop of color with the gold edges, and they add a cool, tropical vibe to any space. Plus, they're tough as nails. This plant is perfect if you're looking for something that brings height and color to your room without being too overwhelming. And the best part? It's super low maintenance. Just stick it in bright, indirect light and give it a drink when the soil's dry. You don't need to fuss over it. This is one of those plants that pretty much takes care of itself. Just give it a little love now and then, and it'll stay looking fresh. The Dracaena Golden Coast is great for adding a pop of greenery, especially in modern or minimalist spaces. It's tall and sleek, but with those golden stripes, it brings just the right amount of color to keep things interesting. So if you're into a plant that's both stylish and easygoing, the Dracaena Golden Coast is a solid choice. It'll instantly brighten up your space without asking for too much in return. Alright, let's bring the beach vibes straight to your living room with the coconut palm. This plant is basically a slice of tropical paradise. It's like having your own mini vacation at home. Check out those fronds. They're long, flowy, and just scream island getaway. Plus, they're perfect if you want to feel like you're living in a beach house, even if you're miles from the ocean. The coconut palm thrives in bright light, so it's perfect for those sunny spots in your home, and it doesn't need too much attention. Just water it when the top inch of soil dries out, and it'll keep doing its thing. One thing to keep in mind, this plant loves humidity, so if your place is on the dry side, a quick misting now and then will help keep it happy. Trust me, it's worth it to keep those tropical vibes going. Whether it's in your living room, by a big window, or even in a sunroom, the coconut palm brings a touch of the tropics indoors. It's tall, it's striking, and it instantly makes any room feel more relaxed. So if you're dreaming of that island life and want to bring a bit of it home, the coconut palm is your go-to. Next, let's talk about the Alocasia Yucatan princess. This one's a showstopper, folks. Just look at those incredible leaves. They're like nature's art, all bold shapes and rich colors. These glossy, heart-shaped leaves, they're not just pretty to look at, they're also super dramatic. If you want to add a real focal point to your space, this is it. Now, the Alocasia Yucatan princess does like a little TLC. It loves bright, indirect light and a bit of humidity. So if you've got a spot in your house that's bright but not too sunny, that's where you want it. It's also a fan of regular watering. Keep that soil consistently moist, but make sure it's not sitting in water. Think of it like a fancy house guest that likes a little pampering. And check this out. The Yucatan princess can grow quite tall, so it's perfect for making a big statement in any room. It's like the crown jewel of your plant collection. So if you want a plant that's not just a pretty face, but also adds a touch of drama and elegance to your home, the Alocasia Yucatan princess is a must-have. It's unique, it's stunning, and it's sure to turn heads. Last, but definitely not least, we've got the Alocasia Frydek. This beauty is like the royal family of houseplants. Seriously, those leaves are gorgeous. Just look at those leaves. They've got that velvety texture and bold white veins that make them pop. This plant is all about making a statement, and it definitely does that. It thrives in bright, indirect light, so a nice spot near a window is ideal, but be careful with those harsh rays. This plant doesn't want to be scorched. Watering is key with the Frydek. Keep that soil consistently moist, but don't let it sit in water. Think of it like a diva. Needs attention, but don't drown it, all right? This plant can grow quite large too, so it's great for filling up a space. It adds a touch of drama and elegance that's hard to match. Trust me, your guests will notice. So if you want a plant that's not just a pretty face, but also a conversation starter, the Alocasia Frydek is a must-have. It's unique, it's stunning, and it'll definitely steal the show in any room. Alright folks, that wraps up our tour of these stylish big houseplants with large leaves. I hope you found some inspiration for your own green space. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. We've got more plant tips and tricks coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching and happy planting. See you next time.